like a climax of this slow build, this slow moving storyline that is going in a direction, and everyone is waiting for the big event to unfold so that action can be taken. Because you can't take action if you don't know what's going to happen, because it may put you in a position that's even worse than the one you're in. So we are in this frequency right now with so many things happen that are so heightened, and experiencing people who are tone deaf. They are tone deaf to the feeling that the majority of people are experiencing of this stress and distress and anxiety and the violence and the harm that is being done and the injustice, the disconnection from one another, and spewing more of that, like pouring gas on a fire. And thinking about tone deafness in related to a vibration and a frequency and a pitch reflects back to some people just do not have the capacity, nor were they meant to have the capacity to experience, to hear high frequency sounds, music, tones. Hi, and welcome back. It's September the 11th, 2025, about 6 o'clock at night. Still 25 degrees here in Kamloops. Have you felt the energy shift again today? I don't even think that shift is the right word. I always refer back in my mind to the way I see interacting energies is kind of like very flaky pastry, where some pieces are just so fine and they maintain their shape and form, and others go so far, break off, and then they sort of blend with another. Or others go a bit farther, and when they were being baked, they actually shaped into a higher level. No straight lines, no consistency. It all just appears random and yet perfectly designed. So when we say shifting with energy, is it really shifting? Or is that just the natural trajectory of where we are meant to be, how it was formed and created? And we are just moving into the new way, or having to traverse a lower little area to get to higher ground. Referring back to pastry, I think most people can visualize a fine and dainty, flaky crust that crumbles so easily and yet will hold up the shape and form of a final product, a final creation. The thing I was thinking this morning, or when I woke up, the first thing that was in my mind, and I could see two words: tone deaf. and how it's a congenital neurological issue. I think it's called amusia, AMUSIA, where an individual is born being unable to hear certain tones, certain pitches and ranges of sound, of music. Another definition of tone deaf is when someone appears to be unable to understand or recognize or feel the weight of an environment, and so they say or do, they behave in some way that suggests their inability to read the room, to experience that feeling, that frequency, that tone of the room. So they're tone deaf because they cannot connect to that level of frequency, of pitch, range. Just doesn't exist to them. So throughout the day, of course, this was popping in and out of my head as I was doing the things I needed to be doing and expanding on it. Processing through what that means in the world we're experiencing today. Because there's so many things happening right now, like a climax of this slow build, this slow moving storyline that is going in a direction, and everyone is waiting for the big event to unfold so that action can be taken. Because you can't take action if you don't know what's going to happen, because it may put you in a position that's even worse than the one you're in. So we are in this frequency right now with so many things happening that are so heightened, and experiencing people who are tone deaf. They are tone deaf to the feeling that the majority of people are experiencing of this stress and distress and anxiety and the violence and the harm that is being done and the injustice, the disconnection from one another, and spewing more of that, like pouring gas on a fire. And thinking about tone deafness in related to a vibration and a frequency and a pitch reflects back to some people just do not have the capacity, nor were they meant to have the capacity to experience, to hear high frequency sounds, music, tones. So why would that matter? I think that it matters because so many people are waiting for someone else to change or to do something or to fix it or to come to their senses and become this other thing that they clearly are not capable of being. And so instead of just banging your head against a wall and being angry at someone for not feeling how you feel or seeing what you see or experiencing the world how you are experiencing it, you just take a moment to say, oh, they're tone deaf. They cannot experience what I'm experiencing. They do not see, nor will they ever see. It's irreversible. Tone deafness is irreversible. You can train someone through different singing lessons and different things like that to adjust their abilities and their ranges, but that won't correct. It's not an ear issue. It's a neurological issue. It's a congenital issue. So if you recognize that nothing is going to change or be different, you need to change. You need to be different. You need to see differently. You need to engage differently. You need to actively disconnect. It's in that disconnection that you no longer participate and fuel and fan the flames of tones that you cannot hear. Because if you can't relate to someone else and what they're saying or what they're seeing or what they're experiencing, you also are tone deaf. You're tone deaf to that lower frequency, to that lower vibration, and thank goodness for that. And thank goodness for where they're at, because they have been the antagonist in your story to encourage you to recognize what you can hear, what you can see, what you were created to hear and see and feel and know, and to tap into it. And to find your tribe that can hear the tones that you can hear. And gathering together with like-minded people, as we all know, the more people who emit the same frequency, it doubles. It doubles. But if you connect with a lower frequency, you are dropped into that lower frequency. It doesn't mean that you can hear it, but it will still happen. So we need more and more people, which is happening, to recognize the tones that they are experiencing, and to also recognize the ones that they are not meant to hear, not meant to know, feel, experience, and shift themselves away from those who want to pull them down. While the dogs are having a drink of water, well deserved, I just wanted to ask if you wouldn't mind subscribing, sharing, liking, commenting. That would be fantastic. I only have, how many days do I have? I have 20 days left for my goal that I set of 100 videos and 100 subscribers by the end of September. And I know that I'm getting so much closer thanks to all the people who have actually been watching the videos. I set this goal as an exercise for me to get some momentum of using my voice in a very pure and authentic way, of sharing the messages that I'm experiencing and the thoughts that I'm having on a daily basis with others who it may connect with, may resonate with, may help change their perspective or see the world a little bit brighter, a little bit differently. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be fantastic. I really hope that I reach my goal, because to be quite honest, I hate failing. Until next time, everyone. Stay safe and stay connected, and we'll see you really soon. Bye.